The Cleveland Browns thought they finally had their franchise savior in Shedeur Sanders. But just days before a massive divisional showdown against Joe Burrow and the Bengals, the entire organization has erupted into chaos. Reports confirm that Sanders has flat out refused to suit up after an explosive confrontation with head coach Kevin Stefanski. This isn't your typical quarterback-coach argument. This is a full-blown organizational meltdown, a franchise-defining power struggle that could destroy Cleveland's entire season before it even begins. For months, whispers inside the facility suggested tensions were brewing between Sanders and Stefanski, but nobody predicted it would detonate like this. The spark came during a closed-door team meeting, where Stefanski allegedly questioned Sanders' leadership, saying he wasn't prepared enough, didn't process the game at an elite level, and even hinted that Dillon Gabriel, yes, the same Dillon Gabriel who was suspended just weeks ago, deserved more first-team reps. At first, Sanders sat silently, holding back, trying to remain professional. But then, witnesses say something snapped. His demeanor shifted, and the room went dead silent as he locked eyes with Stefanski. Without another word, Sanders stormed out, leaving his teammates stunned. What looked like a heated argument was really months of pent-up frustration boiling over. Shedeur came into Cleveland with the full backing of ownership, paraded as the face of the franchise, marketed as the next big thing. But instead of support, he's endured subtle undermining, constant comparisons to Gabriel, and relentless criticism at every turn. Every mistake magnified, every success minimized. Wednesday's practice finally broke him. During a routine drill, Sanders strung together completions, moving the chains with ease. Then one incompletion on a miscommunication with a rookie receiver set Stefanski off. In front of the entire team, Stefanski stopped practice, dissected Sanders' reads, and humiliated him with the line, "That's high school level processing. Gabriel makes that throw blindfolded." That was it. Sanders ripped off his helmet, looked Stefanski dead in the eye, and declared, "I'm done with this disrespect." Then he walked straight off the field, leaving the entire team frozen. Veterans who have seen every type of confrontation said this wasn't just emotion, it was a calculated statement. Within hours, Sanders' camp called Browns management with an ultimatum. Unless there was a public apology and changes to the coaching staff, Shedeur would not take the field against Cincinnati. The ultimatum detonated inside the organization like a bomb. Owner Jimmy Haslam, who personally championed Sanders' selection, was immediately trapped. Back your coach and risk losing your franchise quarterback, or side with your quarterback and gut the authority of your head coach. There is no winning play. And make no mistake, this isn't just about a quarterback and a coach who don't get along. It's about two completely different football philosophies colliding. Stefanski represents old school order and hierarchy, discipline, patience, structure, authority. Sanders represents the modern NFL star, player empowerment, instant results, and a brand bigger than the playbook. Those two worlds simply cannot coexist under the same roof. GM Andrew Berry tried to play mediator, suggesting Sanders could play, but on reduced snaps, a gradual integration. Neither side budged. Stefanski demanded obedience. Sanders demanded validation. Stalemate. And while the front office scrambled, the locker room fractured. Offensive linemen backed Stefanski, saying a rookie needs to earn his stripes before making demands. Defensive players stayed neutral, but privately admitted they were sick of the drama. Receivers were split. The young guys loved Sanders' fire and chemistry, while veterans leaned towards stability and the system. Amari Cooper even called a meeting with the receivers to find unity, but it backfired. Half the room sided with Sanders, the other half with Stefanski. The team wasn't just divided, it was shattered. Outside the locker room, the chaos exploded. Within minutes of the reports breaking, hashtags like "Whoa, fire Stefanski" trended nationwide. Social media turned into a battlefield, fans arguing over whether Shedeur was justified or whether he was acting entitled. Sports radio callers were furious, some threatening to cancel season tickets, others demanding wholesale changes. Even merchandise sales reportedly began to plummet as Cleveland's dysfunction became a national circus. And the media? They couldn't get enough. Skip Bayless sided with Sanders, praising his fire. Stephen A. Smith backed Stefanski, saying no rookie should undermine a coach's authority. Pat McAfee called the whole situation absolutely bonkers. Every network ran segments, every analyst took a side, and the Browns' dirty laundry became the NFL's main headline. But this story is bigger than just one game. League executives are watching closely because this is precedent setting. If Sanders wins, if a rookie quarterback can force changes with an ultimatum, it could shift the balance of power across the NFL. Young stars would suddenly hold more leverage than ever. But if Stefanski survives, if he holds the line and forces Sanders to fall in, it would reaffirm that coaching authority still matters in a league that increasingly revolves around stars and branding. Either way, the fallout reaches far beyond Cleveland. And all of this is happening with the Bengals lurking, preparing like professionals, watching their rivals implode. Cincinnati doesn't even need bulletin board material. Cleveland's dysfunction is their advantage. Joe Burrow is locked in, Ja'Marr Chase is torching secondaries, and defensive coordinator Lou Anarumo was reportedly overheard saying, "They don't even know what they're doing over there." The contrast couldn't be sharper. One team locked in on football, the other tearing itself apart. Meanwhile, the Browns facility feels like a funeral. Coaches go through the motions, players run walkthroughs with backups, front office execs scramble on conference calls, and ownership has no answers. Even Dillon Gabriel, fresh off suspension, finds himself preparing as the emergency starter. Think about that. Suspended weeks ago for confronting Sanders, now possibly starting because Sanders confronted Stefanski. That's not a football plan, that's a soap opera. Behind closed doors, ownership held emergency meetings. Haslam flew in personally, demanding a solution before kickoff. GM Andrew Berry tried again to mediate, but both sides dug in deeper. Veterans attempted a players-only meeting to rally the locker room, but it devolved into shouting. Offense defending Sanders, defense questioning his commitment, special teams asking why they were even in the room. No resolution, just more division. And through it all, Shedeur Sanders stayed silent publicly, training privately, refusing to back down. His camp insists this is about respect, not ego. They see this as a defining moment for his career. Stand firm now, or accept being disrespected forever. Stefanski, on the other hand, sees surrender as career suicide. If he bends to a rookie now, he loses the locker room, loses his credibility, and maybe loses his job. The pressure is crushing, and the entire football world is watching. Every possible outcome is catastrophic. Fire Stefanski, and you're admitting the rookie runs the team. Bench Sanders and you risk losing your fan base. Trade him and you torch your future. Force a compromise, and you only delay the explosion. There's no neutral ending here. Someone wins, someone loses, and the loser might not recover. Now, the countdown to kickoff ticks away. The Bengals are ready. The Browns are paralyzed. A once promising season is now on the brink of disaster before it's even truly begun. For fans, this is a nightmare they've lived too many times. Talent wasted, dysfunction thriving, hope crushed under chaos. And this time, it's worse because the stakes are bigger. This isn't just about Shedeur Sanders. This isn't just about Kevin Stefanski. This is about who really controls the NFL, players, coaches, or owners. The Browns are no longer just fighting for a win. They're fighting for identity, for credibility, for their future. And as Sunday approaches, one thing is clear. Cleveland has perfected dysfunction, turning chaos into an art form. The only question now is whether this disaster will define just a season or the entire franchise.